Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is chapter 18 of Shattered Image, and this one is titled, Yin Has Her Grumpy Pants On. Okay, Momo called once she had made the rest of the bridge, and you could see she was panting and sweating a little, but she still seemed so well put together and flawless that your face darkened even more. Well done, Sero said as he jogged back over the bridge and high-fived her. You really made the whole thing. Oh, I couldn't have done it without you, she replied sweetly, and you nearly gagged, your eyes rolled that far back in your head. You couldn't have done it without you, you repeated in a mocking tone in your head. This flirty bitch thinks she can win Sero over just like that? I don't think so. Over my dead body. The girls all filed onto the bridge and then spaced out. You took the end spot and waited while Momo called instructions. You didn't want to follow what she was saying, but you also didn't know what else to do, so you didn't have a choice, and knelt down on the bridge so you could reach the water below. Make sure to keep your gloves on, Momo called to everyone as she saw the dummies floating down the river. I'm not stupid, you scowled to yourself, but I also kind of want to take them off because she's the one telling me to keep them on, and I don't like her, you thought. Just then you spotted some dummies bobbing and floating down the river towards you, and the other girls called out in warning to let you all know to be ready for the incoming people who needed rescuing. This is so stupid, I hate this, you thought, as one started to head towards you, and you reached out for it. For some reason you had expected that it was made out of some lightweight material, but nope, this felt like a full-on body, and by grabbing onto it you almost got ripped off the bridge and into the rapids of the moving water below. Whoa! You shouted. It's heavy! You okay? Sero shouted from the other side of the bridge. And you weren't okay, but you didn't want to be the weakest link, so shouted back that you were fine. While you struggled with that one, Momo grabbed two and pulled them up onto the bridge and then created a stretcher from her arms, and her and Sero moved them off to the riverbank on the other side so they could be out of the way, then came back for more. It was after they got the first two dummies sorted that you finally got your one dummy out of the water and scowled when you saw Sero smiling at Momo. Okay, fine then, you thought bitterly. Just because my quirk is crap, you don't need to ignore me and move on so quick, asshole. The rest of that mission went poorly, as far as you were concerned. You couldn't do much, and you felt rather useless without your quirk. To add insult to injury, Sero seemed to be having a great time, and the other girls were all joking and chatting to him while working. Disgusting, as far as you were concerned. A few times you caught sight of the other teams and noted that the angry blonde, Bakugo, appeared to be in just as pissed a mood about the mission as you, and for once you actually felt like you got this guy. There was one time he threw an explosion at the curly green head guy simply because, and you couldn't have felt more connected to a person than you did at that point, but by the end of the exercise you just wanted to go home and not talk to anyone. You were fed up. Finally the mission was accomplished and over, and deemed a success, and you're all lined up so that Aizawa could talk to you again. I'll be watching the tapes back tonight to assess each of your abilities on the mission and score you accordingly, he said. Those who haven't shown much initiative will be made to do a follow-up supplementary course, he added, and you swear he looked at you. Ugh, this bitch has got it in for me, you scowled internally. I know he's going to fail me. You glanced across at Sero, who appeared to be very relaxed about this, and your scowl deepened. So what? He has a better quirk, so he automatically passes? You seethed internally. After being dismissed and let go, you headed out first, not waiting for and not walking with Sero. You just wanted out. As you were marching out of the arena, you could see the angry blonde stomping his way ahead of you, and you thought for a second that it was a weird way to walk. He was almost sumo squatting as he walked. Stupid dumb class, you heard him mutter. They think they can look down on me because they could use their quirks and I couldn't. Ah, he was a man who understood you. Yeah, you said from behind him, and he whipped around to see who had spoken. Hated that class. Couldn't use my stupid quirk at all, and now I'm going to fail because of it. Bakugo just looked at you. Yeah, well, my quirk's better than yours, he quipped. I pass on that alone. Well, you didn't get to use it in there, dummy, so how are you going to pass? You asked him with an eye roll. I'll blast them. Then they can see how they like it, he snarled. You laughed deviously. Maybe I should do the same, you said with a smirk. Not let them out of my quirk hold until the next day. See how they like it. Well, the voice of Sero suddenly said from behind you. You two are the same person. Huh? No, we're not. What kind of a hell of a comment was that? I'm way better than him. He lost down on me. You both exploded, talking over the top of the other, you replying with angered indignation, and him snapping back in his usual tone. Whoa, Sero said again, once you'd both finished, standing there looking at you. Bakugo clicked, spinning on his heels to walk away while you stood there glaring at Sero. Well, that was interesting, Sero said. What was? You snapped. The class, he replied. No, it wasn't. It was lame and boring, you replied, and then turned to march away. Well, you did well for not being able to use your quirk, Sero said as he jogged to catch up to you. What would you know? You were too busy with little Miss Fang Fang over there and her perfect quirk, you replied bitterly. No, I was watching you, he replied, and for some reason his comment made you feel so self-conscious and hot in the face that you wanted to punch him. What? You snapped. No, you weren't. Don't say that. What? He replied with confusion. But you did really well. Those dummies were really heavy. And actually, none of us got zapped. I should ask the others if they got zapped. He wondered. The gloves really did work well. You grunted, but you were still so cranky yet flustered by his comment earlier that you didn't really know what to say to that, so just remained quiet. For the rest of that afternoon and even on the walk home, you were more quiet and sullen than usual, and Sero wanted to know why. If he could help in some way, then he wanted to know. You good? He asked as he walked beside you into town. No, but whatever, you grumbled. What happened? He asked. Just, today's been crap. Like, I don't even know what part of it, but basically all of it, you replied grumpily. Is it because you couldn't use your quirk in the rescue training? He asked. Yeah, but also other things, but I don't care, whatever, you replied grumpily. Well, you do care, because it's making you grumpy, he replied. Shut up, what are you, my psychiatrist? You shot back at him. Sorry, I just wanted to help, he said. I like it when you're happy. I'm never happy, you replied. Well, whatever your mood is, that's not this one, he replied. Yeah, well, deal with it. That's what you're going to get, you said to him. You want ramen? He asked suddenly. Yes, you replied after thinking for a second. Good, 'cause me too, he replied as he turned slightly to veer off to the ramen place that you had been to before. At least we agree on one thing. Ramen. Yeah, that's the only thing I'll ever agree with you on, you replied to him with a little cheek, and he smiled. Food was the key here. He could feel it. Well, if that ain't relatable, I will see you next week for the next 3 Sero chapters, or I will see you on Monday for Heard You Like Me. See you then.